Welcome to the Disruptive Entrepreneur. This is Rob Moore, and I'm very excited to have a very special guest with me. Now, if you're watching the video, which we don't normally do in the podcast, but we had to for this one, you'll know who this man is. I know we have subscribers to the podcast in about 120 countries, so I don't want to assume that you know Mr. Frank Bruno very well, but Frank, this is everyone.
Hello there, everyone. How you doing?
And everyone, this is
lovely day.
Frank Bruno. So I want to say thanks for taking your time.
Cheers, thank you.
Really excited.
Cheers.
For those that don't know who Mr. Frank Bruno is,
yeah,
can you just kind of tell us what you've done in your career?
What have I done in my career? I don't know if you got long enough or is it short enough.
As long as you need.
What have I done in my career? I've done boxing.
Yeah.
I've done pantomime. I've done speaking in a number of places, in prisons, in all over the world.
Yeah.
I've done speaking, ducks and diving, all bits and pieces. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not only done, got involved with boxing, I got involved in all different things.
Yeah.
What I don't think a boxer's ever got involved in their life before.
Right, yeah.
But I've enjoyed it. It's kept me going for nearly 30, 40 years.
How old are you now, Frank?
54 plus VAT.
Something I think I'd really like to explore, if it's all with you,
Right.
Frank, because most of our listeners are entrepreneurs.
Right.
And I thought it'd be nice to ask you some questions you're not normally asked, just
Okay.
keep you interested.
No problem.
I think one thing I've really admired about what you've done is you've transitioned
Oh.
from hard career in boxing
Yeah.
into another career, because there's a lot of sportsmen that once their sport is done,
Yeah.
they're a bit lost and they find it hard to.
Yeah.
And so, what would you say is the sort of special recipe that you are able to get into pantomime and then into speaking and keep a really good career?
The special recipe what I had when I was 18, I had a good man behind me called Terry Lawless, and he was an adventurous sort of like man. He didn't just think for today. He thought about when you finish from boxing,
Yeah.
like getting involved with golf, trying to get involved in theatre, getting TV shows and do little PAs here and there. So he had it all sussed out before I even started boxing. So sometimes we'll pupils to certain people we look up to and give us inspiration and whatever, and he was my person that gave me inspiration.
Right.
A lot of people always give you advice, but whether you take their advice is entirely up to you.
Sure.
And use their advice to your advantage.
Yeah.
And I used his advice to my advantage, and it worked very, very well.
So are you saying then you had a plan way before you were finished in boxing to transition?
Oh, well, I had a plan for when I started boxing.
Wow.
Because he always said that boxing ain't going to be there all the time. You can get an injury.
Yeah.
You can get lose an eye, get an injury in the eye, damage your hand, get a busted rib or something like that. So while you're there, make the most of it. And it's not only going to be boxing. You got to spread it out a little bit.
How long did your boxing career last? Sort of professional level?
Boxing career lasts for about 25 years.
Yeah, and is that kind of a normal length of a good boxing career, would you say?
Some can go on longer. It depends what sort of like fights you had.
Yeah.
If you've been beaten up or been beating up people, or it's alright beating up people, but if you get beaten up yourself and you get a lot of the stuffing taken out of you, you can keep your career very short.
Sure. Now, I think I know the British public absolutely fell in love with you, and that obviously must have helped you get TV work, etc. work. Would you say that's fair?
I think if you're a boxer and you can put bums on seats or let people viewing figures, that looks good, it looks good. But I worked on my viewing figures. I ducked and dived. I went to do charities. I went to see different things that boxers wouldn't do, and just up and down the country meeting young and old, going to prisons and going to setting up charities, President Sporting Club, and now I've got a new charity called the Bruno Foundation. But it's a combination of things that you got to work. It don't just come overnight.
Yeah. So that's a bit of your career actually be good to talk about, kind of the more business side.
Yeah.
Because obviously we have a lot of business owners on the podcast.
Right.
So are you saying then while you were boxing you were still trying to balance time to promote yourself and
all the time?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because everything that comes into boxing, boxing, you could have a short career.
Yeah.
If you have a short career in boxing, at least you didn't. I had about 12 years of work in pantomime, which I went up and down the country, and it's good money, and it's good fun, and it's good publicity, and it worked, you know. But after the pantomime, I got TV shows with Little and Large, Lenny Henry, Cannonball, Freddie Starr, Comic Relief, Royal Variety, shows and whatever, and all of them works in roundabouts, you know, keeping yourself flowing with the publicity, with your name keep flying out there, and just ducking and diving.
So if I could read into that, so you say being a good boxer alone isn't necessarily enough.
Nah, you got to be a character.
Yeah.
I think so. You know what I mean? And people caught on to, you know what I mean, Harry, and different things like that. So I think you've got to definitely be a character into boxing. Sure.
Any boxers right now you think have got it? You know, that they're a good fighter and they're a good self-promoter?
I don't think that they're concentrating on after when they're finished with boxing. A lot of boxers, they don't. I don't think they're clocking on to.
Right.
And not a lot of boxers have clocked on and not really clicked.
Sure.
Clicked on to the British public.
Yeah. British boxing's. What sort of state do you think it's in?
It's not in a bad state, you know what I mean. But there isn't. It's confusion, you know what I mean. There's no one knows which channel to watch.
Right.
There's too many belts. There's so many people trying to stab one another in the back. So at the end of the day, you know what I mean. The old school boxing is gone. New school is nice, but I don't think there's many boxers or as good boxers as there were in my day. Sure. I'm not saying that to be crazy or whatever. In my day, in the day era before that, there was some serious cats out there, you know what I mean? A lot of names.
You probably need more than one, don't you?
Sorry?
You probably need more than one really good boxer, because, you know, for example, you and Mike Tyson, you need...
Lennox Lewis, some different bits and pieces like that, You
know, if you think about the Eubank-Ben fight, maybe without Ben, Eubank's career wouldn't have been as good.
True. Both of them made each other, but they're still thinking of coming out of retirement to fight each other now.
No.
It'd be a good fight.
Yeah, that's got to be just media hype.
No, I don't think it's media hype. I spoke to Ben recently.
Nigel must be, nearly 50?
Nearly 50, yeah. But if Jules Foreman done it.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Wow, that worries me, that does.
Does it, yeah?
Yeah, well, surely that's too old to be hit in the face.
Nah. You know what I mean?
You wouldn't, would you? You wouldn't come out of retirement.
Well, if his money was right, I think. We're passing that one.
Yeah, all right then. So this podcast is called The Disruptive Entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So what would be your take? What do you think the word disruptive means? Just your
disruptive. I think I've got to look in my dictionary to see that word. I'm punching above my weight. I've got to surrender. And you know what I mean? Ask for your help on that one.
No problem. That's all right.
Sir.
That's actually one of the better answers.
Yeah.
So that's great. Okay then. So you were more successful than most boxers for a long time.
Yeah.
And there's probably only one of the most successful boxers ever. So what do you think it took to make you that?
It took a lot of work, you know what I mean? Terry Lawless invested a lot in me. I invested in myself, and I'm a grafter, I'm a workaholic, and if someone says you can do something and you can get into that market or whatever, you got to work at it. Put yourself in a position to capitalise on what your worth is, and the market is out there for you, you know? So I'm just happy, you know what I mean? It's been so long since I retired from boxing, nearly 22 years, and I'm still as busy as ever. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And that's the way you like it, is it?
Yeah, I like it, it's nice, you know what I mean? Mustn't grumble. I don't know how long it's going to last, but it seems very, you know what I mean, nice. I'll get to go to different countries and do different bits and pieces.
Yeah. So, boxing, sport, you know, there's the sort of work ethic and the outworking side of your, you know, basically more sweat in the gym.
Yeah.
But there's a lot now, I don't know if it was back in your time, I'm going to ask you about this, things like diet and techniques of training, and maybe looking at a way to play a bit smart as well as just hitting the bag more than anyone else.
You know, the nicest thing about a heavyweight, you don't have to worry about your weight, but I feel sorry for the smaller guys that have got to worry about the weight, because there's only half a fish, no butter or grease, and the coffee, they can drink the coffee but no milk and no sugar. and that is what you call hard.
Yeah.
But diet.
So you never had to worry about that then?
Yeah, I know as a heavyweight you don't have to worry about. But I used to watch the other people.
You were still lean though, weren't you?
Yeah, lean enough.
Yeah.
But the other guys have to suffer.
Yeah.
I think, you know what I mean, it's very, very hard.
Yeah.
Diet is, you know what I mean, and now the diet's what we're doing is different.
Yeah.
But it's still the same.
Yeah. So any things that any coaches or trainers gave you that was a bit of an edge, you know, where you're able to play smart?
I don't think you can either beat hard work.
Yeah.
Hard work, getting up in the morning, is same like, you know what I mean, putting yourself into business.
Yeah.
But boxing, you know, who wants it, you know what I mean, it's out there for anybody to take, but, you know what I mean, who gets up in the morning,
Yeah.
trains that bit much more hard and thinks a little bit more further
Yeah.
than the normal, and works hard.
Yeah.
Hard work you can never beat, you know.
Sure.
That people say, oh, you're lucky, and different things like that. To get lucky, you got to work hard, bloody hard, you know,
Yeah.
get up very, very early up
Yeah.
in the morning and graft.
Yeah. When did you start boxing?
I started boxing when I was about 8, 12. I went into competition, but unfortunately at 12 I was got sent to a posh boarding school, Borstal.
Right.
So that nullified anything I had dreams of.
Yeah.
When I came out of the Borstal at 16, you know what I mean, that's when I first went into boxing and really wanted to give it a go.
Yeah. And when did you make it? When did you turn pro and make it full time?
Yeah, that was the plan, you know
Yeah.
what I mean, to make some nice corn without
Yeah.
getting yourself into no trouble and people
Yeah.
knocking your door down and whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, had that was a plan.
What
to make
age?
some.
What age did you go pro?
I went pro about 18, 19.
And did you have any sort of jobs and work before that?
I worked in the shop assistants, I worked in the building site, I worked as a metal polisher, come out darker than I am now.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Worked in the building. Took a little bit of time to get there.
Worked on the building site, metal polishing, all different jobs, you know what I mean, I would do, you know, but bingo hall wasn't one of the most strangest ones working in bingo hall, but yeah. It was good in your CV.
Yeah. So, do you have any traits in business people that are successful that you admire? I mean, you've like
I
you
admire
talked
all
about
business people, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because boxing is simply the same. You're making the business for yourself.
Yeah.
But I admire all business people.
Yeah.
Anybody that works and grafts and
Sure.
makes money, you can't really knock them. You just got to, you know what I mean, admire them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Who are the good promoters? You know, who are really good. in your day?
Mickey Duff, Jarvis Steer,
Yeah.
Don King was a good promoter. Frank Warren was a good promoter.
What made Don and Frank good? Would you say?
The grafters, they worked
Yeah.
very, very hard. They had a lot of backstabbers.
Really?
Like anything you do,
Yeah.
people were always going to be jealous of you and whatever, but they were good guys. They worked very, very hard.
Yeah.
A lot of people never liked them, but I liked them because like they were fair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In boxing, all you can do is be fair.
Yeah.
In life, all you can do is try and
Yeah.
be fair.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you be fair, people take the piss out of that. So
Sure.
you got to be firm.
Yeah. So when you got paid for a fight,
Yeah.
how was the money split in terms of the promoter, the boxer, the
In
venue?
the olden days, the manager got 25% and the trainer got 10%
Right.
out of that. So
Okay. And then how did the promoter make their money?
promoters make their money on bums on seats
Right.
and the TV rights
Right. Yeah.
and different bits and pieces like that. You know what I mean? The TV rights across the world and whatever. But a lot of boxers are getting smarter now and trying to get a piece of the action in the TV rights and bits and pieces.
Oh really? And do any of them do kind of their own promotion? Any of the boxers?
Yeah, a lot of boxers try and do their own promotion. David Hay does his own promotion.
Right.
Brian McGregor at the M does his own promotion.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, but yeah,
Hasn't Oscar De La Hoya?
Oh
gone
yeah,
into-
Oscar De La Hoya, he's got a very, very big promotion out there,
Yeah.
and yeah, Oscar De La Hoya must be the most successful one,
Yeah.
a boxer. You know what I mean? Getting involved in promotion out there, I think.
Yeah. And what do you think it takes to be a good promoter? I mean, I know you said graft.
Oh,
Is there
you've got
any-
to be very, very tough. You've
Yeah.
got to take a risk because it's a risk being a promoter.
Right, yeah.
People say promoters get a lot of money, but they take a risk in putting the whole show on,
Yeah.
and everything comes crashing down. But
Yeah.
I've got a lot of respect for promoters,
Sure.
as well as managers, as well as trainers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As well as boxers in themselves.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Got a lot of respect for.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move forward in your career
Yeah.
then to the panto side of it.
Yeah.
So was that something that you looked at and you thought, I'll get into that, or was it just like a little door that opened at the right time for you?
A little door that opened. I had an operation in my eye, and I had to take some time out because it was detached retina. And when you get detached retina, you got to leave it time to settle and whatever. So I took out 2 years. Right. I was willing to do pantomime. You know what I mean? Just sort of like heal up a little bit, get myself together, and keep myself occupied.
Yeah. Did that ever become a distraction from boxing? Did you ever have to make decisions between which one you'd focus on more?
Not really. I did it for 2 years, you know what I mean? So I'm not boxing the head, still trained and whatever, but just try to sow the seed into the pantomime world, so make sure that seed grows when I come out of boxing. Yeah. And it did.
Sure. So am I right in thinking you did panto between...
Boxing, yeah, definitely.
But not after boxing?
Not after boxing. I've done more pantomimes after boxing, yeah.
Yeah. And what paid better, panto or boxing?
I think panto.
Really?
You know what I mean, yeah. Oh, right. No, boxing.
You had me there.
No, boxing, most definitely.
Okay. And then let's move forward to your speaking career. Yeah. So when did you start doing the sort of keynotes after dinners and that?
Near the end of my career, I started getting bits and pieces asked to go and speak and do bits and pieces and go to this charity show, go to this show, and go to this foundation, something to put in may I say, you know what I mean? And wanted you to be there as a celebrity, go to people's parties and all sorts, you know? Right. The only thing I ain't done is sweep the road yet.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure if it paid well, you probably would.
Yeah.
So, in the speaking bit, so it sounds like, so you're paid for parties, paid as a celebrity, paid to, I mean, for example, with us, you do question and answers and things like that. Are there any types of the speaking that you prefer the most or least?
I like the question and answers, the questions that people throw to you, because it keeps you on your toes, and you got to chuck it at you, and you've got so long to digest it and chuck it back out. So I like the question and answers much more, because it's interesting to people chuck something at you, it gives you more interest in, you know what I mean, digest it and go for it, you know what I mean, and do politicians and come out with some bullshit or come out with something good.
And how long have you been speaking? How long's that career been?
Must be about 25 years, you know.
Wow.
Yeah. 25 years.
Planning to do a lot more of it?
Hopefully, you know what I mean. I want to try and take it to a different level, you know what I mean, eventually. Yeah. Any
plans for retirement fully from...
not yet, you know what I mean. If I was going to retire fully, I think I'd go somewhere where it's nice and hot, or find somewhere in England, in Cornwall, and just chill out and just but not really. I don't think it'd be very, very crazy for anybody to get involved in business and retire fully. Because I think if you retire fully, that's when you're going to get little things breaking up, your bones getting at your mind, gets a little bit of Alzheimer's or whatever. I think as a businessman or any person that's got involved in anything, you know what I mean, it's best not to retire.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Never retire. Always keep yourself busy and keep yourself occupied and keep the body, the engine ticking over.
Yeah, I'd agree with that 100%. I think a lot of people have the idea of retirement. I retired twice.
Right.
Once when I was about 27. It lasted about 3 weeks. I got so bored. And then once around about 30. Again, lasted less than a month.
Crazy.
So bored.
Foolish.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I had any worth. Exactly. Purpose. What do I do?
Getting up in the morning and you crashes. You know, your mind's got to keep occupied, or you got to detox yourself very, very slowly to come in retirement. But if you go into retirement, you got to find running, yoga, Pilates, or do something to stimulate your brain, because you know a lot of people get into trouble when they just retire like that.
So some of the coaches you've had, trainers over the years, can you think of any good advice they've ever given you?
A lot of them give me a lot of advice. Save every penny that you can get. You know what I mean? Keep bobbing and weaving and look after yourself. After you finish with boxing, go to the gym. Try and keep the weight down.
You still go to the gym a lot now?
Yeah, I try and go to the gym quite a lot. You know what I mean? It stimulates your brain, keeps your body in good shape, so makes you feel very healthy emotionally and everything wise. You know, spiritually, it's very good to try and look after yourself. You know?
And do you find that's important to de-stress, relax?
I think it's very, very, very important, because people don't realise how much stress can bring on other stress and other problems and other things. You know, so it's nice if you can control stress. Some people don't know how to control stress, but you've got to chill out, man, a little bit sometimes. You know what I mean? Because if you're on the go, on all the time, you burn out very quick. Yeah. And at the end of your career, you've got nothing to, you know what I mean? No energy, no sting or ping in your, you know what I mean? Anything that you do, you just get lethargic, you know? Yeah. So you've got to keep your body or your mind on, and especially your body.
When you were fighting, you know, professionally, was rest a big part of the program?
Yeah, very rest. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you're under stressful business, as boxing is, because you don't know who you're going to fight, what's going to happen in the ring or whatever, you're under stress all the time to keep fit, get properly, look half decent, be careful what you say, where you go, whatever. So stress is not a nice thing.
Yeah, I think if I could speak for most entrepreneurs I know, or at least I'll speak for me, and I've seen a lot of them, it's almost like you wear it like a badge of honour to work really hard and outwork everyone. You see it in the city, the bankers, etc. You know, you're not working probably unless you do a 100-hour week, but that can't be sustainable for 30 or 40 years, surely.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. I feel sorry for them when they retire from the job that they've got, because I've done a lot with the stock market boys. You know, I've been down there, and their job, man, is fiery, high blood pressure type, and when they finish, they don't know what they're going to do to sort of like, you know what I mean, detox or rewind and come back into society. Yeah. Because having that on the phone all the time, numbers and whatever, it's not easy. It's like being an accountant, being a lawyer, being anything. When you're with a job what's stressful, bagging different things, and you want to win. Yeah. No lawyer wants to lose. No accountant wants to lose. They want to be the best.
And that's a lot of pressure, isn't it?
In your job, you want to be the best. Everyone wants to be the best. Yeah. It takes a little bit of a pressure. Yeah. It's not easy. People just think that it just comes overnight, but you know what I mean. You know, if you're playing chess with you, I'm sure you'd be a very, very competitive young man. If you're playing golf with you, you don't want to go in the golf course and mug yourself off. I bet you go in there to win. Yeah. You know, any business you go involved with, in any speech you go with, you're emotionally up. You know what I mean? It's a fight. Yeah. Not a sort of fight that you're gonna, if you don't bomb and weave, you're gonna get a black eye. But you're not a monkey. You're a very intelligent guy, and you know what I mean. People like that don't like to lose. Yeah. Nobody likes to lose. It's a very terrible thing if you lose like that. Yeah. You know, you're competitive in your own funny way. Yeah.
I find I can certainly relate to that. Yeah. And what I find is you have to have some kind of release, because it's like a pressure cooker, just builds and builds and builds and builds and builds. Yeah. And then it just comes out because you have a bit of an episode, where you lose the plot. Right. Yeah. You know, it's at the worst possible time in front of the worst possible people, and
that's why I say you've got to learn how to relax as well as work. You know what I mean? You know, both will come in different ways. You know what I mean? Work and relax is, you know what I mean? You've got to find the well balance, because sometimes you've got to switch off, know when to switch off and when to switch on. Yeah. And keep it that way.
How did you deal with losses in your career?
I think losses made me more determined and made me more hungrier, and give me a pin at my backside to wake me up.
How long would it take you emotionally and mentally to recover from a loss? Were you the kind of fighter that would just beat yourself up for ages?
I would beat myself up for ages as a kid, dust myself, and you know, I mean, the only way I could do and beat this is train harder, focus, concentrate, and get my shit together.
Sure. Did you ever lose and feel like that was because you were underprepared, or you didn't train hard enough, or whatever, or was it just always because you were beaten by a better fighter?
No, I've been beaten by a better fighter at the end of the day, you know what I mean, or a luckier fighter, I would say, some of them, because some of them were lucky, but
who was lucky,
more lucky. My head was lucky to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, so you could look at it that way. Yeah,
well, surely it must be good to feel that you never lost because you were underprepared or undertrained.
Oh no! I took my business very, very seriously. I didn't want to go in the ring and get beaten up. That's embarrassment. But sometimes in life, in business and whatever, you got to lose before you win. You can't win everything, because you got to lose to bite your tongue, not bite your tongue, or grit your tongue, or grit your teeth, and get up there and do a little bit more better than what you did last time.
Yeah. So in that, you're saying that your losses actually, in the long run, served you quite well.
Very, very, very well, because I think I was reaching my peak too soon.
Really?
In boxing, knocking out people very, very quick.
And does that mean you get too good a fighter too early or something like that?
No. You're beating good guys, but I was very inexperienced.
Right.
My punch and my power made up for a lot of, knocked out a lot of people very, very quick, because if I hit them, they would do some breakdancing. But at the end of the day, that me knocking them over very early put a little dent in me getting experience. You need experience and seasoning and know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't know too much what I was doing, because I had 22 fights as an amateur, and usually people have 60 fights.
Right.
To go where I was going very, very quick. But I had to wake up and, learn very quick. But I think I was...
So if you were coaching people, you maybe might, if they were going on your journey, slow them down a bit even.
Yeah, try to slow it down, but it's difficult when you punch and knock out people. It's very difficult to slow, because you've got to get people with the experience that can take your punch and give you a couple of rounds under your belt. Yeah.
Would you ever say then, did you ever get a little bit ahead of yourself, maybe a little bit, I don't like to say cocky, but did you ever get a bit ahead of yourself?
No, I never got ahead of myself. Once I said that I would get involved in boxing, I keep my feet firm on the ground, so I never get ahead of myself.
Yeah. I mean, that must be one of the most humblising sports, because, I mean, when you lose in boxing, it's in front of a load of people and you get hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever fought with any boxers, or did you ever know any boxers that did get a bit cocky, and was the downfall of them?
A lot of them got cocky, and I mean, I've known some boxers that have got cocky and done very, very well for themselves. But when I look at me and them now, they say to me, only if I would listen to you, you know what I mean? To conduct yourself, tidy yourself up a little bit, present yourself, go to different bits and pieces, but they refuse to go because it was against the system.
Right.
You know what I mean? But sometimes you can't beat the system, but sometimes you got to nick a little bit from the system to get on with what you got to do and put it into your armory. But they wouldn't understand nothing about that. You know what I mean? After boxing, just thinking about today and using their arrogant self to get them into trouble more, and they wouldn't listen. They thought that you're selling out, you know what I mean, you're not representing boxing in the right sort of way. But when I went into pantomime, I got a lot of criticism. You know what I mean? When I've done different shows and different bits and pieces and getting on TV shows, people didn't think I was taking boxing. Some say I was not taking boxing too seriously, but sometimes you got to not look for today, you got to look for tomorrow.
Yeah. So you do a lot of charity work?
I do a lot of charity work, more charity work than a lot of people could ever imagine. A lot of charity work.
And what drives you to want to do that?
It's nice to get well compensated and well paid in my job. So sometimes you feel good to put a little bit back. And sometimes you can learn when you go and see handicapped kids, when you go and see grown-ups with mental health difficulties and different bits and pieces, to bring it down to earth, to think how lucky you are. You know what I mean?
So has it made you a more grateful person?
Much grateful, because sometimes I look at some handicapped kids and their parents, what they got to go through of looking at that, and how would they feel or whatever. And we was moaning about this and moaning about that, but we don't know how grateful and how lucky we are.
And what is the Bruno Foundation? Do you focus on anything specific?
Mental health and kids with broken up families and going through all different things like that.
Okay, well, I think we've got to go over there
to
the training suite and go and do a speech. So, do you have any social media or anything like that where anyone can follow you?
Oh yeah, I've got a website and Facebook and whatever. But I've got a lady running that for me, Carmen. So you can follow me on Facebook. And Twitter me and all that.
And that's just what Frank Bruno, is it? You just type the name?
Yeah, there's Frank Bruno, the Reverend Frank Bruno, the Reverend.
Frank, it's been a pleasure.
No problem.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, thank you.